Hello friends. So as a security professionals, sometimes you end up in a very funny situation. As a security professional, your prime objective is to secure the environment, the technology, the process, and on top of everything, secure the people, right? So that's the end objective of a security professional. But when you are dealing with different projects, most of the time you have to act like a project manager, like a security project manager, and you have to understand the technology, and then understanding the technology and understanding the security challenges. If you are not well versed with the technology, or you are in a situation where you are having no idea like what software developers are doing, what is let's say you are in a telco environment and how these telecommunication circuits are designed, what is the underlying logic, what to do, where to start. So I will give you a quick tip here. In those situations, you have to go to the basics, right? So what are the basics? No matter what the technology is, no matter what the environment is, how small or big the project is, you have to look into the basic fundamental principles of security. And you have to ask the question. First ask yourself, then ask the technical leads or the project managers or the experts who are running the project, that how these security principles are going to be embedded in the solution, right? You have to ask this question. Of course, when you ask this question, you have to be a bit cooperative with the team. You can't just go and say that, no, I'm a security champion, I'm on top of you guys, and you have to answer me and you have to explain everything to me. Don't be like a judge or a bad advocate, right? So first of all, you have to understand what are the key fundamental security principles which you have to focus on. And you know that there are six fundamental key principles, key traits of a secure system, you can say, right? So these fundamental security principles, which is like in Urdu we say बुनियादी उसूल, है ना, चीज़ों के बुनियादी असूल, या हिंदी में कहते हैं मूलभूत सिद्धांत, है ना, किसी भी सिस्टम के जो है मूलभूत सिद्धांत क्या हैं, राइट? सो मूलभूत सिद्धांत, बुनियादी असूल और फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ सिक्योरिटी इज सेम everywhere, small, big, complex, not so complex. These six principles are: first, confidentiality; second, integrity; third, authenticity, which includes authentication and identification. Actually, identification and authentication. Confidentiality, integrity, authenticity, non-repudiation. So these are the four key principles which are related with the content of the message or the system. Any system is processing some information, so that information is related with these four key fundamental principles. And there are two more principles. One is access control and availability. So you have to think of the system around these fundamental principles, these six fundamental principles: confidentiality, integrity, authenticity, access control, and availability. I think I missed something. Confidentiality, integrity, authenticity, non-repudiation, access control, and availability. So the first four are related with the content of the information system, and rest two is the characteristic of the whole information system: access control and availability, right? So these six things you have to focus on. So how you will focus on? So if there is a project, in this project there's a new software which is being deployed. So you have to go through with all these six key principles. What is the confidentiality level you have to achieve for this software? Who is going to access this software? How sensitive is the data? Is this data sensitive to the privacy laws? So these are the things you have to think of. This is confidentiality, how you maintain the secrecy. Then you have to think of integrity. What is the integrity level you want to maintain for the data this software or the technology is going to process? If it has to be highly integrity driven environment, then do you have enough disk replication, data backup, and all those things, data deduplication to maintain those kind of thing, or you have proper access control in place so that the high degree of integrity can be achieved by proper identification of the end user. So this way you can maintain confidentiality and integrity. Similarly, authenticity, who are the intended user of this software system or this application, you have to be mindful of how do you identify them and how do you authenticate them. Is this authentication for the internal user or for the external user? If it is for the external user, from where they are coming? Is it a third party vendor you trust, or the user is coming from internet? Depending on the case, you have to deploy two-factor authentication or three-factor authentication, basically multi-factor authentication. That is authenticity. Then you have to think of non-repudiation, mostly in the case of internet-based applications. API authentication. You have to see that the principle of non-repudiation is achieved or not. If it is not, then it will be a big problem from legal and regulatory point of view if there is an attack or if there is an issue, right? Then you have to think of access control. Access control is the big thing. It's actually the spirit of the whole security. We are always talking of zero trust, right? So zero trust cannot be achieved without considering access control. So access control mechanism, we have to find out how we are maintaining the access of the software, access of the system which is holding the software, and access to the data itself. So this is another thing. Lastly, availability requirements. How much availability this software or the system requires in order to sustain or in order to support the business. So if we answer these things, these principles in a proper documented way, I think we are good to go. The key of all this documentation or all this security consideration is having a good relationship between the technical team, management team, and security team. We call them like the corporate governance, IT governance, and security governance. If they are in harmony, they work as a team, and they work for a common objective, we can have a decent security which cannot be broken, I think. That's all for this video. I wanted to just give you an idea how do we kick a start looking into the security of a new software system or a new system, not only software, any hardware software system where we do not have the underlying details. Thanks for watching the video. If you really like this video, put a thumbs up and share the video with people who may need this information. Thanks for watching.